Wagwan, my brothers and sisters. It is a guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Bob Marley, One Love. That's my bad Jamaican accent. I'm so sorry about that. But look, without further ado, let's get on to the review. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Bob Marley One Love, starring Kingsley Ben-Adir, Lashana Lynch, I believe his name is James Norton, Anthony Welsh, and was directed by Reinaldo Marcus Green. And our story basically follows the life of the Jamaican singer-songwriter Bob Marley, the famous weed smoker, peace lover, who just made a bunch of songs that even if I don't think I was alive during his tenure for sure. Yeah, I don't think I was alive at all. So even for people who don't know about, Bob Marley's story, we at least know his songs, at least know his message of peace, love, and positivity and smoking weed. But look, basically, story just follows the life of Bob Marley after he essentially is, trying to throw a certain concert for world peace, but certain events and certain things in his country are threatening his life, and so he has to move away and just deal with some other stuff in his life. And I'm so sorry if I'm describing that very poorly. It's kind of the way that the movie is kind of telling his story is kind of like chopped up in like pieces of just like best moments, and some moments that show his humanity and just how hard it was to truly try to stay sane while preaching a message such as this one, while so many people were trying to kill him, and there's so much killing and dying in his country and his homeland and things like that. But for me, the movie was just kind of told in a very choppy story-like structure, but I'll get to that when I talk about what I don't like about the movie. As far as what I did like about the movie, just to get it completely out the way, look, I thought Kingsley Ben-Adir as Bob Marley was absolutely tremendous. I mean, this dude truly embodied all of Bob Marley, and the reason I could know that much now, like I said, I was not born during Bob Marley's tenure, and I definitely know his songs, but I'm not like the biggest Bob Marley fan. I just know who he is because of how global the guy was. I know that he was embodying Bob Marley to damn near a perfection, because everybody in the theater I was watching with, including my mom, they were all vibing out to him. They were all praising his performance. They were all going completely nuts, and they showed some footage of the actual Bob Marley at the end of the film, and I can honestly say without a doubt that dude studied the hell out of that footage and literally became Bob Marley. It was absolutely ridiculous. Kingsley Ben-Adir was truly astounding as Bob Marley. I loved his performance, and I think his performance is truly what makes the movie here, man. Like I said, the story structure of the movie is kind of choppy, at least for people who I believe don't know much about Bob Marley, like myself. I don't know much about like his actual life story himself, and when this movie starts, it's literally starting with him already getting his life threatened for throwing this concert. And I'm like, damn, there was no build up to this. We're just going to start at this point in his life? Okay, cool. And then throughout the rest of the movie, like I said, it's more so just like a mashup of his best moments and highlights of life events that happened to him throughout, his life. But I'm already getting into that. But I think Kingsley Ben-Adir just did such a tremendous job in each of those scenes and throughout this entire film. It really, the way the story was told didn't bother me as much. I would have really liked to felt like I learned more about Bob Marley, but truly, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, if it wasn't for the Bob Marley historian that was sitting behind me in the theater, literally after every artifact, every saying, every scene that had some sort of historical context to like truly show who Bob Marley was, dude was breaking it all down behind me to his girl. And honestly, while that probably would have annoyed me in a movie that I already knew about the character, I ain't know much about Bob Marley, so I really appreciate you, dude behind me who was talking the entire movie. Thank you. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. Actually, thank you, because you made me understand a little bit more about Bob Marley than the movie did. But like I said, Kingsley Ben-Adir just completely embodied Bob Marley in this movie, and it was so, honestly, it was so heartwarming to see this, see not only Kingsley Ben-Adir just give a performance like this, but to see so many fans of so many different colors and so many different backgrounds in my theater just vibe out. Like everybody was jamming or jamming or how slapping the bass, man. Slapping the bass, man. I know it's terrible, but look, they were all just vibing out to every song that came on, every scene that reminded them of something of their childhood. I was in the theater with a lot of older folk, but everybody was just having a great time in this theater watching this film. And like I said, it's mainly because of Kingsley Ben-Adir. It's honestly probably like 90% because of Kingsley Ben-Adir. I'd say the other 9% goes to Lashana Lynch, because Lashana Lynch, yet again, is delivering tremendous performances. I mean, I wish I could find other words than tremendous, but honestly, that's the only way to describe Lashana Lynch. She is an absolute triumph. She is astounding. She is so magnificent, which I guess it could be other ways to describe her. But her performance in this movie was absolutely terrific. I mean, just there's not enough I can say about Lashana Lynch, man. She just delivers everything with so much emotion, so much passion. She really did a great job as his wife. I absolutely love their chemistry throughout the movie. I love their dynamic. It was really good to see. I think this is a musical biopic where you really are falling in love with more so of the portrayals of the characters than the actual narrative and the story itself. Now, like I said, the only issues I personally have with the movie is I feel like for people who don't possibly know as much about Bob Marley and don't necessarily like know a lot about his backstory and who he is, I feel like you're going to be pretty lost at certain points of the film, just because I feel like what the movie does a very good job at is it highlights who Bob Marley was and what he stood for throughout a lot of scenes in the film. You know his message, you know what he's trying to relate to in his music, you know like what his purpose is, but you never just learn about the man himself. Like you don't really go through a lot of his childhood. You go through certain important parts of his childhood, but they're kind of flashing back and forth between, you know, the past and the present. And I don't know, for me it was kind of told in a very choppy way where, like I said, if it wasn't for the Bob Marley historian behind me, I wouldn't have known everything that I know about Bob Marley now. Like, the movie doesn't necessarily, like, a lot of the stuff the guy was talking about in the film itself, or a lot of stuff that the guy behind me was talking about, they'll show like artifacts, or like Bob Marley would mention something that had a lot of a deeper meaning to it, but the movie just, I guess, had a runtime to stick to for whatever reason. I mean, they could have made it longer, in my opinion. I felt like it could have been a 2 hour, maybe like 2 hour 15-minute movie. Truly, it could have been another 30 minutes, because I wanted to know much more about this guy. But like I said, I wasn't really like disappointed by the way the story was told. I think Kingsley Ben-Adir just really stole the show. He really embodied the character, and he does such a good job that you truly forget, oh yeah, the story ain't really all there, but honestly, we're really here for Kingsley Ben-Adir's portrayal as Bob Marley, and you get what you came there for, and he delivers. He delivers in every sense of the word. Now, another thing I'll say about the other characters in the movie, I just loved how black culture got a chance, or Jamaican culture I should say, got a chance to shine in the film. The hair is amazing, man. You deal with some real Rastafarians. You deal with some truly great black people. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played one of the main characters in House Party, I'll show a picture of him on here because I don't know the actor's name, but he was in this movie, and I was actually honestly surprised to see him get another role, because House Party was pretty bad, but I was glad to see him in this movie because he did a very good job as his character. And honestly, look, man, overall, if you're a fan of Bob Marley, I think you're going to love this movie. If you're not a fan of Bob Marley, I do think this movie will kind of at least pinpoint you in the type of direction to start becoming a fan. I don't think you'll leave this movie and be like an outright fan of his, but you'll definitely leave having some good times. You'll definitely leave being on kind of a cloud vibe. Honestly, you're just on a cloud vibe, man, just vibing out to what's going on in the film and what's going on in Bob Marley's life. And like I said, you're really here for Kingsley Ben-Adir's portrayal as Bob Marley, which personally, it was way better than I expected. He absolutely crushed that role. I mean, this dude, I can't wait to see Kingsley Ben-Adir in more movies, because he should get a lot more offers after this. And Lashana Lynch, there's not enough I can say about that woman. Her she's ridiculous. She is an absolute talent. And for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Bob Marley One Love a 3.25 out of 5 stars. Okay, so Bob Marley One Love. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more, guys. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.